Hey, I'm Tommy Ellison, and this is Senior Moments. I can't tell you what I had for breakfast this morning, but I remember every detail of that time I came this close to being suspended my senior year in high school, just 3 weeks before graduation. So stick around. This is proof that some things from a misspent youth just don't fade away. Let's go. Well, hey, I'm Tommy Ellison, and this is Senior Moments, and this is episode 21, and I am a little bit late coming into the podcast here. My wife and I were watching this crazy movie, and she looked at me just now, and she said, "Aren't you going to do your podcast?" And I said, "Wait a minute, what time is it?" So here it is. It's 5 o'clock, and it's actually 5:10. And I am late, and so sorry about that. Hope I haven't kept you waiting, those that might be watching. So anyway, this episode is number 21, I think. Yeah. And I call it First Down and Goal to Go because it's football season, and that's a little bit about what we got going on here. In the previous episode of Senior Moments, I think it was, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before that, I shared with you my, let's call them my challenges I had with my football uniform back in junior high. And if you tuned into that, you'll know that it was quite an extravaganza of color and orange and gold and red, and anyway, you can go back and watch that. But this episode again is about football, but it's about my sort of stepping up to the next level of collegiate football, and something that happened to me in a game that we were playing there when I was at Samford University. That's Sam, Samford, not to be confused with Stanford. And anyway, the one memory that seems to, well, I have a lot of memories about playing football there, and I can share those with you at a later date. I've shared a couple of them, I think, already. But this one particular memory has always kind of come back to me in a game that we were playing against Mississippi College. And I don't even know if Mississippi College has a football team anymore. They went D3, which is the lower level, non-scholarship version of NCAA football. But we were playing this game anyway to continue. We were playing the game at Samford, and it was on a Saturday afternoon, but it wasn't just any Saturday because this particular day it was raining cats and dogs, and it was the kind of storm where you didn't really need a team bench for the players to sit on. What you needed was an ark for them to survive this flood that was going on during this ball game. And the field wasn't draining properly, and by the time we lined up to we were down near our own goal line about to score, there was 3, maybe 4 inches of water that just stood standing there underneath the grass that we were playing on. Now, just to kind of set the record straight here, I was an offensive guard, which is kind of a fancy way of saying I was the guy supposed to block in the line so that the running back could run, behind me, and I could block for him as we were trying to score. And on this play, we were, of course, trying to punch it into our end zone, into their end zone rather, and score the touchdown. And so, as all football plays go, the ball was snapped. We ran the play, and I got to tell you, to the best of my recollection, we scored. At least I think we did. But here's where it got interesting, because in the middle of all that chaos, the pile and all, a huge pile of bodies, landed right on top of me because everybody was converging on that area where that running back was following me. And so, nevertheless, what happened was I wound up, being at the bottom of the pile, face down, of course, but not just face down. I was actually face down in 3 to 4 inches of standing water on the field. Now, the referees, were doing what they always do in a goal line pile up like that. They started yelling, "Get up slow, get up slow." And they were trying to untangle the mess of bodies and figure out if the ball had actually crossed the goal line. And so they were just doing their job and yelling, "Get up slow, get up slow." And all the bodies began to unpile. But in that time frame of them yelling, "Get up," and the guys trying to get up, all I could think about was, forget getting up slow. I need everybody to get up fast. Because, first of all, football helmets don't come equipped with snorkels. And I sure didn't have one. And I was already out of breath from the play, and my oxygen supply was running low quickly as I laid in that pile underwater. And as I laid there under the pile, I started imagining the newspaper headline the next morning: "Man drowns in football game." Or what about record-setting play as Tommy Ellison at Samford University becomes the only player in NCAA football history to drown while on the field? Film at 11. Well, thankfully, I made it up, gasping for air, I might add, and we all lived to play another down and another day. But I'll never forget that rainy, stormy day playing Mississippi College when I guess I came closer to drowning in a football game than anyone else had ever imagined. I was a strong swimmer, but when you got 340, 50, 400 pounds of flesh laying on top of you and the refs are yelling, "Get up slow," and you're literally underwater, or at least your face is, well, that was, I guess, an adventure that I don't necessarily want to repeat and wouldn't wish on anybody. And I guess I've wondered, is there a moral to this story? I mean, why do I tell this story? Well, because it is a senior moment. It is a senior memory. And if there is a moral, here's what I came up with. Sometimes in life, it feels like we're buried under a pile, circumstances weighing us down, barely able to breathe. You've probably been there. I've certainly been there on many occasions. And in that moment, I just wanted air. And the truth is, God promises us that same breath of life when we feel like we're drowning. Psalm 18 says this: "He, being God, reached down from on high and took hold of me. He drew me out of deep waters." Whether it's football, family, or faith, when the piles get too heavy, God is the one who lifts us up. Thanks for watching today, guys. And be sure to listen to this guy coming on next, because he's a friend and I agree with everything he is suggesting. So thanks for watching Senior Moments 21, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Well, hey, thanks for spending a few minutes with me on Senior Moments. If you enjoyed the ride, be sure and tap that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next one. I'll be back soon with more stories from a misspent youth, and maybe some of yours too.